In the ancient lands, where tribal loyalties shaped destinies, Judah, son of Jacob, embarked upon a path that would forever alter his family's course. He separated from his brethren, seeking new horizons and settling near the Adullamite, Hira. This departure marked a significant turn, distancing him from the immediate patriarchal tent. It was in these new surroundings that Judah chose a wife, a woman named Shua from the Canaanite people. This union, though common for the time, carried implications for the purity of the Israelite line, a detail not lost on later generations. From this marriage, 3 sons were born, each destined to play a part in an unfolding drama: Onan, and Shelah. As was the custom, Judah sought a suitable match for his firstborn, He arranged a marriage with a woman named Tamar, whose origins remain somewhat veiled, yet whose spirit would prove indomitable. This union was meant to secure the family's future, a cornerstone of ancient societal structure. However, the path of was not righteous. His deeds were wicked in the sight of the Almighty, a transgression that brought swift and severe judgment. Thus, met his untimely end, leaving Tamar a widow and Judah's lineage in peril. With death, the ancient custom of levirate marriage became paramount. This sacred obligation dictated that a deceased man's brother must marry his widow, ensuring the continuation of the family name and inheritance. It was a duty rooted in profound cultural and spiritual significance. Judah, understanding this imperative, commanded his second son, Onan, to fulfill this solemn duty. Onan was to take Tamar as his wife, and through their union, raise up an heir for his departed brother, This child would legally be considered preserving his memory and his portion within the family. Yet, Onan harbored a selfish heart. He knew that any offspring born of this union would not be reckoned as his own, but rather as heirs. This knowledge fueled a deliberate act of defiance against both custom and family expectation. Driven by avarice and a refusal to share his inheritance, Onan consciously prevented conception. He spilled his seed upon the ground, thereby thwarting the very purpose of the levirate law. His actions were a direct affront to the sanctity of life and the preservation of his brother's legacy. This deliberate act of disobedience and disrespect did not escape divine notice. Onan's conduct was an abomination in the eyes of God, a betrayal of his sacred duty and a profound injustice to Tamar. The consequences were swift and absolute. Like his elder brother, Onan, too, met his demise, struck down by divine judgment. His death underscored the gravity of his transgression and the unwavering expectation of adherence to established law and moral conduct. Tamar was now twice widowed, her future increasingly uncertain. Judah, witnessing the tragic deaths of 2 sons, was gripped by a profound fear. He worried for the life of his youngest son, Shelah, now the sole remaining brother capable of fulfilling the levirate duty. A superstitious dread began to cloud his judgment. He therefore delayed giving Tamar to Shelah in marriage, offering a pretext of Shelah's youth. He instructed Tamar to return to her father's house and remain a widow until Shelah grew older. This promise, however, was made without true intent. Tamar, though outwardly compliant, understood the unspoken truth. Judah had no intention of ever giving Shelah to her. She was effectively condemned to a life of barren widowhood, stripped of her right to an heir and her place within the family. Her plight was a stark injustice, a violation of her rightful claim. Many years passed, marked by the quiet sorrow of Tamar's waiting and the passage of seasons. During this time, Judah's own life was touched by grief, as his wife Shua passed away. After the customary period of mourning, Judah prepared to travel. He journeyed to Timnah, where his sheep were to be shorn, a significant annual event that brought together men of means and influence. This journey would inadvertently set the stage for a pivotal encounter, a confrontation of wills and destinies. Tamar, ever watchful and acutely aware of Judah's broken promise, realized the depth of his deceit. She understood that Shelah had long since come of age, yet Judah had made no move to fulfill his obligation. Her patience had reached its limit. With a resolve born of desperation and a fierce sense of justice, Tamar devised a daring plan. She shed her widow's garments, symbols of her sorrow and status, and instead adorned herself in the attire of a harlot. This disguise was a calculated risk, a desperate gamble for her future. She then positioned herself along the road to Timnah, at the entrance to Enaim, a place known for such encounters. There she waited, a figure cloaked in anonymity, ready to intercept the man who had denied her justice. Her heart must have pounded with a mixture of fear and determination. As Judah passed by, his eyes fell upon the disguised figure. Unaware of her true identity, and perhaps swayed by the circumstances of his recent widowhood, he approached her. He saw only a woman offering her services, not the daughter-in-law he had wronged. Judah engaged her, and they agreed upon a payment for her services, a young goat from his flock. This transaction, seemingly mundane, would become the fulcrum upon which their fates would turn. The stage was set for a profound revelation. As a pledge for the promised payment, Judah offered her his personal effects. He gave her his signet ring, bearing his unique mark, the cord by which it was worn, and his staff, a symbol of his authority and identity. These items were not mere trinkets. They were extensions of his very being. After their encounter, Judah dispatched his friend, Hira the Adullamite, to deliver the promised kid as payment. Hira was tasked with retrieving the pledge, but his search proved fruitless. The woman was nowhere to be found, vanishing as mysteriously as she had appeared. 3 months later, a shocking accusation reached Judah's ears. Tamar, his daughter-in-law, was found to be pregnant, a grave offense for a widow still bound to her deceased husband's family. The news ignited Judah's fury, a righteous indignation born of perceived betrayal. In his initial rage, Judah issued a harsh decree. He commanded that Tamar be brought forth and burned, the customary punishment for such a transgression. His judgment was swift and severe, reflecting the strict moral codes of the time. However, Tamar, with cunning foresight, had anticipated this moment. As she was being led out, she sent a message to Judah, accompanied by the very items he had given her as a pledge. She declared that the father of her child was the man to whom these objects belonged. Upon seeing his signet, his cord, and his staff, Judah's fury instantly dissolved into a profound realization. The truth struck him with overwhelming force. He recognized his own possessions, and with them, the undeniable truth of his paternity. In that moment, Judah's pride shattered, replaced by a humbling admission. He declared, "She is more righteous than I, because I did not give her to my son Shelah." He acknowledged his own failure, his broken promise, and the injustice he had inflicted upon Tamar. His judgment had been clouded by fear and deceit. In due course, Tamar gave birth to twins, a testament to her perseverance and the continuation of Judah's line. The first to emerge presented his hand, marked with a scarlet thread, and was named Zerah. But it was his brother Perez who broke forth first, establishing a new branch of the family. The narrative of Judah and Tamar is a profound tapestry, woven with threads of human frailty and divine purpose. It highlights the pervasive nature of deception, not only in Tamar's bold act, but also in Judah's prolonged deceit regarding Shelah. Each character navigated a world where truth was often obscured. The story powerfully underscores the critical importance of family duty, particularly the levirate custom, and the severe consequences of its neglect. Onan's death and Judah's subsequent fear illustrate the weight of these ancient obligations. It speaks to the societal structures that bound individuals to their kin. It is a stark reminder of the consequences of actions, both righteous and unrighteous. Onan's selfishness led to his demise, while Tamar's audacious pursuit of justice ultimately secured her lineage and vindicated her. Every choice carried significant repercussions. Furthermore, the narrative emphasizes the paramount importance of lineage within ancient Israelite society. The continuation of the family line was not merely a matter of personal pride, but a sacred trust, essential for the fulfillment of divine promises. Tamar's actions ensured this continuity. Finally, the story presents a complex moral landscape, challenging simplistic judgments. Tamar's unconventional methods, though seemingly transgressive, were ultimately deemed more righteous than Judah's broken promises. It forces us to consider the nuances of justice and righteousness within a specific historical and cultural context.